Excel 2016, Module 3, pages 134 through 139. On page 134 of your textbook, it tells you to open up your Wingate workbook in your Excel Module 3 Data Files folder. So go ahead and do that, and do your F12, save it with the name they tell you. Then go to your documentation sheet, put in your name and the date. If you need to pause real quick so you can go do that, pause the video, and then we're going to move on. Alright, so go to the yield worksheet. In cell B4, so we're going to go to B, and we're going to go to 4. Enter 137 as the total acreage of the farm that Jane devotes to sweet corn. 137 in B4. In cell B7, enter 6 as the number of corn rows in the sample plot. In cell B8, enter 2.5 as the width of each row in feet. In cell B9, enter 294 as the length of feet in each row. Take a look at the top of page 135 at figure 3-1 and ensure that your screen looks just like it looks in their example. And then go ahead and read that couple of quick paragraphs on 135, and then we'll move on to review the documentation in Wingate Farm Workbook. Go to the Explanation of Formulas worksheet. Read the worksheet contents, reviewing the descriptions of common agricultural constants and formulas. As you continue developing the Wingate Farm Workbook, you'll learn about these terms and formulas in more detail. So make sure that you read all this so that you understand what you're doing and you're not just clicking buttons. Step number 3, go back to the yield worksheet and turn to page 136 and read about using constants and formulas. Again, it's really important that you understand what you're doing and you're not just clicking buttons. To calculate the area of the sample plot, go to cell B10, enter the formula equals 2 times B7 times B8 times B9 divided by E7. Okay, so we're going to stop right here and we're going to read our own formula and make sure that it matches the one in the textbook in step number 1 on page 136 equals 2 times B7 times B8 times B9 divided by E7. Fix any issues you have with that right now, and when you have it all correct, press your enter key. And this is the formula that you should see. It's also listed right there in your textbook. Take a look at it and make sure it's correct. If not, you need to fix your formula before you move on. Step number 2, click cell B10. That's where we are right here. Decrease the number of decimal places to 2. So we only want to see 2 decimal places. So it doesn't say decrease it, it doesn't say decrease it twice. It says decrease it so that there's only 2. One more. Okay, so again, it doesn't say decrease twice like you've been used to in other chapters. It says decrease it until there's 2 decimal places. Okay, at the top of page 137, check figure 3-2, make sure it matches your screen, and then you must read the paragraphs between figure 3-2 and the information at the bottom of 137. Make sure you read those so you understand what you're doing. To calculate the market weight of corn, in cell B13, so B13, enter 1,922. In cell B14, enter 16.3%. In cell B15, enter the formula equals B13 times, open paren, 1 minus B14, and then a close parentheses, and then stop, equals B13 times 1 minus B14. Make sure everything's correct, and then press your enter key. And you should get 1,608.714 pounds. Turn to page 138. Oops, we got bright yellow. It means we better stop and read what's ever in the box. It's obviously very important, so take a second to read that. Step number 4, in cell B16, which is where we're currently located, enter the formula equals B15 divided by, open paren, 1 minus, and it's E8, closed paren. And of course, you know I'm going to say stop, check it, equals B15 divided by, open paren, 1 minus E8, close paren, and then press your enter key. And you should get 1,903.80355 pounds. Step number 5, select the range B15 to B16, so B15 to B16, and then format the numbers with no decimal places. Okay, no decimal places at all. There we go. Now, take a look at figure 3-3 on page 138 and compare your screen to what they have in that figure and make sure it matches. If it doesn't, go back and find the errors in your formula before we move on. All right, at the bottom of page 138, to project the farm's total yield and revenue, in cell B19, scroll down just a little bit, in cell B19, enter the formula equals B16 divided by E9. So B16 divided by E9. Go back to B19 and format the number with no decimal places. There we go. And your answer should now say 34. In cell B20, enter the formula equals B19 divided by B10 equals B19 divided by B10. Again, I'm going to check it. B19 divided by B10. Press my enter key. 167.901042. Top of page 139. Step number 4. Click back onto B20. And we also want no decimal places here. You should be an expert at that by now. So that makes your answer 168 bushels per acre. Step number 5, in cell B21, enter the formula equals B20 times B4. Okay, B20 times B4. Press your enter key. And you should come out with 23,002.44275. Click back onto cell B21, and we want the comma style and no decimal places. So the first thing we're going to do, I like to get rid of my decimal places first. You can do it in either order, it does not matter. And then we want our comma style. No, really want it like that. There you go. So as long as you get rid of your decimal places, it doesn't matter. Get your comma style, no decimal places, 23,002. Step number 7, cell B23, enter the formula equals B21 times E10. Press your enter key. And now we want to go back right there to B23 in step number 8. And we want the accounting style. And obviously we have too many decimal places. So accounting style, right there. And that takes care of your decimal places and puts on your dollar sign. All right, make sure you save that and you are ready to move on to your next video.